What's your topic?
Well, I think that, we go around and say, I go around and say how right I am about everything all the time, but I think it's important for me to always be right to admit also when I am wrong.
Okay.
I want to talk about Instagram because I started using Instagram a month ago maybe, and I found some utility and some enjoyment in using it. So I wanted to say that, some time ago we did a show and I was like, I don't understand Instagram, and it's useless. It is useless, but it's fun. And sometimes that's its own use and its own utility. So I wanted to just see how you guys felt about Instagram generally, because I'm quite enjoying it. It's a nice way to keep in touch. So Twitter is totally useless to me now. I can use Twitter to follow a feed of the politics and people I know or whatever. But as far as using my mentions and stuff, I mean, that's it's not even worth it because it's just too crazy. And Facebook is fun, but it's not a great way to keep in touch with people that I know, because a lot of people that I know personally don't really use it very much. But on Instagram, I'm just following basically people I know and just random people too, like my cousin or friends from college, just random people I don't necessarily keep up with, and I find it's an interesting little glimpse into their lives. So I was curious if you guys like using it and how you find it these days here in 2016.
I'm with you. I was actually one of the people that I look at every new social media as something that we absolutely inherently do not need. And that's completely useless and stupid. And then eventually I'm like, God damn it, why didn't I sign up for it and get my real name on it instead of this stupid underscore bullshit?
Way to go, Nick Scarpino from Portillo's.
Son of a bitch. There's once a month he's like, no, I'm wrong, Nick Scarpino. And then I can tell, but in the text and the subtext of the text, he's laughing at me.
Of course.
Son of a bitch. No, he's a really nice guy. But I was with you on the Instagram front too. I'm like, this is useless. This is Twitter, but without being able to say anything or link to anything, right? But in it, it depends on who you follow. In it, when you start following people who figure out creative ways to use the platform, it starts becoming incredibly entertaining. And there are two people of note that if you don't follow, you ought to. One is The Rock.
Yes.
He is amazing. And if you ever want to be inspired to do anything, just look at The Rock's Instagram feed, because that man can say with a picture what no other person can say with words, largely because his quads are 18 times the size of any normal human beings. So
there's that, but he's also he's changed the way I use Instagram, because he'll go in there and write giant posts for his photos and let me explain to you what this photo actually is and who this person is and what they said to me. I'm like, that's a fucking brilliant idea. You know what I mean? As somebody who I gave up on Facebook a long time ago. I have a fan page, right, that I put my stuff up on, but I don't have friends or keeping using any of that kind of shit of Facebook. And so when I broke down and started using Twitter, and that was when, if you remember in the old days, IGN used to be that, oh, you wrote an article, so now just log into the Twitter and put it up, because we just shared one Twitter and 30 editors would go in there at random times and just post whatever the fuck they were just doing or whatever. And so when IGN was talking all right, we're getting a social media person, stop doing that, I was like, fuck, I miss Twitter, I should use Twitter. So I got my own Twitter and established that. And then when Instagram came around, I remember downloading it, opening, and being like, this is stupid. I put photos up on Twitter. Don't need this. Right. And then it was that it sat around forever, and I don't know, 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, I started actually actively using it as a thing. And I was like, oh, and for me, the hardest thing was building the following. Because I like that on Twitter when I go on, right, there's a million posts and I'm updated on what's happening or from people I care about. But with Instagram, it was that thing of there wasn't as much happening because people weren't posting as much. But then when I built out a feed, and it became that, okay, I come back on and The Rock's got this, but then my cousin's daughter has this, and these photos, these a snapshot of somebody's life to know what's happening when you're not there, but not be as dialed in as Facebook is, where it can be this giant, we're messaging each other, this is happening, there's blah, 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 blah. I don't actively go into my comments or whatever on Instagram, right? I put up a post and that's kind of the thing of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I never comment on other people's pictures, pretty much in general. But
it's super rare for me to do.
I don't get a lot of comments on any pictures I put up either. I get, people just like it, they saw it and kind of go on. Yeah. And I think at first I was put off by that, because I'm like, I need there to be this sense of perpetuity for anything that I do, right? As I get older in my age and approach death quicker and quicker, I don't like engaging in things that are seemingly wasteful or that are just throwaway content, right? Which is why it's so difficult for me to wrap my head around Snapchat, because Snapchat is the opposite of everything I'm talking about. It's about being in the moment. It's about communicating one-to-one and having that in-joke, and there's power in that too. And I'm seeing it now. I kind of have my head wrapped around that. But for Instagram, yeah, it is that thing where at first I'm like, God, this is so watered down. It's a dumbed down version of Twitter, and Twitter's already a dumbed down version of Facebook. So why the hell do I need those two
this
removed?
topic? I feel like we've covered 10,000 times on this show, and it's just You just need to use the platform for what it's made for. And
yeah, that's my
coming
point.
to terms with that. Is I think just like
point.
Colin is. That's the same thing I'm talking about as well. Is I didn't think for a long time that it was different, and it wasn't even until we have to get to your second person to follow on Instagram is when it was The Rock who was putting in these things. I was like, oh, like I feel disingenuous when I post something heartfelt or like long-winded on Facebook, right? Because that's not the audience I've built there. But with Instagram, that feels natural because I am building a community there.
Right. Yeah. The other person is. I don't recommend everyone follow him, but he's a fascinating human being, Dan Bilzerian.
I was gonna say that rich guy you follow,
and he in large, not because of the stuff he posts, because he posts a lot of like crazy pictures of him with half naked girls, but it's because he has crafted his sort of persona on Instagram, right? When you go on that, it tells a narrative of like going to Vegas to gamble, flying in my private jet, shooting guns, riding dirt bike, and I can appreciate how he does what he does on that platform. How people would buy into the myth of what he's created for himself because of just him being able to control that quick picture and that quick message, right? And then, and that picture really does say 1,000 words because it'll be a picture of like, him like looking at his $200,000 watch, and you're like, okay, that's like. To the people who are in the know, that's a baller ass picture to put out. Then he does some other crazy shit where it's like him with topless women, but yeah, I appreciate that guy because you can see him crafting that narrative and getting millions of followers from that.
Yeah, there's definitely characters.
Yeah, it's a character is what I'm saying.
That was the funny thing when I first started using Instagram and I followed you guys, and then I'd go over to that little I wanted to build a better feed of like things I actually wanted. I'd click on that magnifying glass and going to see what it is, and it's all linked from the people you follow and what they're liking and stuff. It would totally be a million of his photos and then other people in bikinis, and then I'm like, God damn it, Tim and Nick.
Yeah, I did get to a point though, to be full transparency, where I had to start unfollowing people.
Well, I think that's a part of Instagram though.
Yeah.
I think the Instagram is the feeds are so much more tailored to what you are looking for at that specific time that you tend to curate it a bit more. Like on Twitter, every once in a while you go through and do a purge and kind of unfollow people or whatever. But I feel like Instagram is more of a
you put up photos I'm not interested in.
It's a habit where I'm like, all right, I'm going to unfollow you. And there's been people I've unfollowed and then followed again later because I've come across them somehow. Sure. And it is a matter of curating your feed to be what you want. So it's like, I'm going to have
because of the real estate on the feed, because it takes up so much more real estate than that tweet.
No, I think it has more to do with the amount that everyone posts. It's like, for example, like I'm not going to stop following Instagram models. I like looking at that. So it's like, it's a matter of
pump the brakes. I didn't say I unfollowed all of them.
It's a matter.
I just said that like I was at a Starbucks and I was looking at Instagram and it looked like I was looking at porn for a second. Sure. And I'm like, I gotta do something about this.
The amount of times I've left a comment, I guess more it's tweet. I'll tweet at Jessica Negri all the time. Like, Jesus Christ, I follow her on Instagram. It's the same thing of like, oh yeah, we'll get fast forward. I'll come back to this, but fast forward through while I'm in this.
Not when I'm at church.
Yeah, no. So I think, but that's the thing though. Is you just got to make sure that your feed is how you want it to look. Like there's one guy I follow. His name is S1000. So S1000, and his whole thing is he just goes around the world and takes. Like
beautiful nature shots.
Taking photos.
That's really cool.
And it's like, that's awesome to see that come up. But I mean, again, I'm not hating on the models because it's like, that's what they do. Every day they're telling a story. It's like this guy's crafting a story. Like,
I'm not hating on him either. I'm not saying that. It's just toward a certain extent, I find myself like, I get into a weird rut where if I follow too much of the same kind of thing, I feel like, I'm going down this road. I don't need to go down that road.
I've done that too, where it was, I don't know if Jessica was the first cosplayer I followed, but I started following a couple cosplayers and then just found other cool cosplayers through them. And then it was all of a sudden where they were, it's like one of those things on the weekend in LA, they go out and take all these shots. And I was just getting like the same thing. I had to start unfollowing a few of them so that I didn't have a feed that was the same.
Because you're right, because it's curation, right? It's like, it is about having that balance. Whatever that balance is, shifts depending on what your likes and dislikes are, which shift as well. But it's also awesome when, like Sean Finnegan turned me on to following Emmanuel Lubezki, who is
Webster. He was Webster.
No, he's not. He's a cinematographer that shot. I think he shot The Revenant.
Is he the one that did everything in widescreen? Like all his pictures are widescreen?
I'm not sure. Probably
because that's whoever that is. I think it's him. It's a beautiful feed.
Like he takes most of his feeds are just like whoever he's taking a picture of looking directly into the camera. But what's fascinating is like, as you start to follow him, he'll start to work on projects, and then you'll see like a shot of Leonardo DiCaprio from the set of The Revenant, like looking at the camera in character, and it's haunting. And then you'll see an actual like Native American that he found because they were on location there, and that person's like, is an actual Native American, and you'll see, and it's really cool because he blurs that line between like what is his art and what is that what is film. It's hard to describe it. Look him up. He's pretty awesome.
I mean, Instagram is there's so much you can do with it, and I think that it's as we've said many times in the show that like everyone uses it. It's like because it's part of Facebook and stuff. everybody has an Instagram, especially if you're under 25. Like that's just an account that you have. And I think that the way that it's used, that it's so easy to like and give feedback, and the like actually means something on it, where it's like that is enough. You don't need to leave a comment. I feel like a lot of like Twitter, like the favoriting, yeah, it's something, but like you really do need to respond to like have that mean anything of significance.
Sure.
I feel on on Instagram, the double tap's so easy to do. And I also like that it's built in a way to kind of, your Instagram feed says who you are. Like it's very similar to BuzzFeed in that those lists are shared because people relate to the headlines that are on those lists. And that's why they get 1 million views, is because people that are like, oh yeah, I'm a 90s kid, so I'm going to share this with my friends. And Instagram is way easier to share content by tagging people you know. So you post an image and every picture I post, the majority of the comments are at this person, at that person, at this person, because they want them to see, like they want their friends to see whatever. It's like me and Kevin will post a picture of Outback, of us at Outback eating, and then everybody posts their friends like, this is us, man. You know, it's like me and my friend eat here, like that type of shit. And I think it's not that it's entirely unique, but I think that Instagram owns that, you know, tag your friend that this reminds you of, and then you do that. And that's how you grow on Instagram in a dynamic way.
I want to see your 3 most recent people in your feed. I want to see your 3 most recent.
I don't want to see mine. I just looked and I was like,
no, I want to see it. Go on. I'll do it too. Colin, break out your thing.
I don't have my phone.
Okay.
I try not to bring my phone in here anymore. We do the shows.
God.
All right. So who is this?
Well,
you're
no
laughing already.
I have no idea.
Just some model you follow?
Someone I found.
That's fine.
Came across.
Some model you follow?
That's the same,
same person. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, then why wouldn't you want that? That's a great one. Some woman with a blow-up doll.
She's like a workout model.
Okay.
God bless her. She's jacked.
Okay. He's fine. Don't worry.
And then...
No, that's all I wanted. I wanted your 3.
this girl.
I wanted your 3. Who's this? Just the same thing?
Girl.
So how do you... So these are just things... Are you doing the Discover tab too that you're finding and then doing it?
To be fair, I have no idea. I have no idea how I came across any... It has to be the Discover tab, right?
You think so?
I won't think.
All right, here's mine. So it's Kitty Plays from Twitch.
Okay.
It's Kitty Plays again because she's just spamming. And it's kind of funny, Kevin.
Kevin's amazing. To be fair, Kevin is amazing on Instagram. Instagram was made for Kevin.
That's true. That's true. Now he's just stealing some of my photos, which I'm not a big fan of. Am I getting credit?
Snapchat's made for Kevin.
No, I'm not. No.
Kills
I
it
don't
there.
follow him. And USC.
That's a sponsored thing.
Okay.
Simone, yeah. So again, all people I know. There's Mizzou. Look at this kid shows Mizzou.
Don't. That's a bad look for that kid.
Yeah, it's too late for him.
Smile.
He's
Who's
gonna
this
learn.
person?
That's Lennon and Maisie official.
Oh, nice.
Lennon and Maisie, of course, from the hit TV show Nashville.
Yeah, starring Lennon and Maisie.
That's how it's branded and what people talk about. Let me see what are your top 3? What do you got here?
I got the girl that helps Alexis edit videos.
Okay.
I got Daryl XOXO.
Oh, right. A kind of funny best friend.
Yes. The one, the girl that you might have seen if you follow us on Twitter that wore the...
fresh out of the shower.
Fresh out of the shower, kind of funny aerobics championship shirt. And the one and only KF Moriarty.
Hey. Yeah. What did Colin post?
What's his last post?
Well, yeah, we're doing our
the
3. Okay, yeah.
Oh, wait, the last things we posted or last people we followed?
Open your feed and what were the 3 most recent things what we were doing?
It could include one of your posts also.
It doesn't matter.
Totally wrong.
No, it's fine.
Mine was a picture of the puppies that I live with.
Sure.
The puppy feetsies.
The puppy puddle.
That got me.
A bunch of Chinese food that I ordered with a cup that says bitch.
Yeah.
It's my cup. I like it. And then fan art of us doing the Rooster Teeth Let's Play Live thing.
Okay.
The one thing that I will say that because I often am self-deprecating with technology, like, and just being like, I don't really understand this stuff. I kind of just do my thing. What I'm realizing, I think, and I do want to, because it's self-congratulatory, I guess, but it's just really a revelation, is that I think I'm way better at social media than I thought. And like,
well, you're a character.
Well, I was gonna say, what gave it away? Your huge following and fan base.
Well, no, because like on Twitter, I have like 121,000 followers. I think right now, I probably have closer to 200,000 if I was like actually like vanilla and like wasn't political and like just didn't. Because I like when Romney ran, I lost thousands and thousands of followers. Like I'd just say whatever the fuck I wanted. But I've said in the past, like I think what's fun about me doing social media and not really caring about who I'm offending or like who I'm engendering support from is that like I really just have a ride or die group of people. Like that just...
You do.
That just like...
You're the Fast and Furious of Twitter.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like a person I don't think casually follows me because like I'm probably abrasive to a lot of people that are just looking for something that's fun or uplifting when I'm just like tweeting random ass shit about... I rarely tweet about video games. You know, so it's so on Instagram, what I tried to do was, because I wanted to get Instagram to really like being able to interact with family, to be able to interact with like Aaron and other people in like a different, more dynamic way. It's the same reason why I got Snapchat, but I only really use it to like talk to like 3 people. I've never like put a story up or anything like that.
I want to be Snapchat.
And but I send like random things to people. And on Instagram, what I realized is like I'm just gonna do like whatever, dick pics, dick pics,
slow jerk pics.
Like just do whatever. And so like what I've been trying to do is just like I put a lot of videos of me just playing guitar and bass up, which people seem to like, and just like kind of just not really trying to craft a narrative, but really just try to do whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's working in an interesting way, which wasn't really ever my intention, because I always kind of assumed you have to kind of think about this stuff in a little more carefully and stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not really thinking about it. My Instagram following is like kind of getting big, and I think that's just funny to me, because I was just like, I don't know, this doesn't seem like a Colin centric or Colin friendly.
That's the thing I've been saying
platform.
forever. It totally is. It's like it only isn't if you say it's not. It's like all Instagram is just pictures and whatever writing you want. Like, why wouldn't you be good at that?
Yeah,
that's so obvious.
I feel like for me, it's the people I follow. It's just an opportunity for them to share a little bit of their lives with me, and that's what I think is very powerful about that platform. Is like when I look up to certain people in the industry, like The Rock or like Joe Rogan, and when I follow them, it's just a little bit of insight into what they're doing that day. It's pretty cool. It's cool to see what they're up to. You know, it's cool that they decided to let you in on whatever's happening in their life for that day. And I think that's the power of it. It's like, unlike Twitter, which, you know, everyone uses everything for different reasons, but you use it to be a little more political, a little bit more polarizing. Instagram, you choose to use to be just put up something fun for someone to just enjoy for a second.
That's the thing, is I try to, like, originally I was like kind of sending some of my Instagram posts to Twitter. And I was like, that's stupid. I'm not going to do that anymore. Instagram's just a different look for me. Like, it's just like more of a day-to-day kind of thing, whatever. But sometimes I forget to use it. I'm trying to use it once a day, but then sometimes I just forget. Like, I'll go on it every day to look at other people's pictures, but I forget I should be using it.
Yeah.
You know, so I like, you know, some of the accounts I really like to follow that I think people should follow that are not my family or friends is like National Geographic's really good. They amazing pictures. NASA's a really good one to follow. Mm-hmm. And I find that the sports teams I follow, or I like the Jets and the Islanders, are really good on there as well. And so I'm sure that that's probably pretty ubiquitous, because social media is getting pretty savvy with sports teams, especially on Twitter. Like some of the guys on Twitter are fucking hysterical. Like the Columbus Blue Jackets account, which is a hockey team, they're like fucking hilarious. They're like ridiculous. And like people, it seems like people are getting more of that, like, of the more gregarious kind of like nature of
which is
how
good,
to do this kind of stuff. But I'm trying to.
It would have happened in the 80s and 90s, right? They never would have let someone speak for the company that way, in that tone.
No, and like in funny GIFs and
it never would have happened.
And
like
emojis
Taco
and stuff
Bell.
like that's so funny, dude.
Genius, but like it's a crazy time we live in that's actually allowed, and that there's power in actually letting people have a little bit of personality behind a brand.
Like Sonic the Hedgehog's Twitter account. That shit's fucking hilarious. Have you seen this shit?
I see his Twitter account. Yeah,
my God,
it's he's talking shit to people.
He's talking so much shit. It's awesome.
It is funny. So like I guess like and the putting thought into the Instagram thing to me is like putting as little thought as possible and just being like honest. I guess. Mm-hmm. I guess that's kind of like my whole thing is just like, you know, like I'm not saying people are disingenuous on Twitter or whatever, but I feel like people censor themselves to not offend people, or like, and so on Twitter that's kind of the way I am. But on Instagram it's just more like, well, this is me playing the police on bass because that's what I'm doing right now, and I think it's funny, you know.
Which
so
song?
Like, Walking on the Moon.
Okay. Not Synchronicity.
Not Synchronicity. Synchronicity is a little harder to play. Synchronicity 1 or 2?
Either. 1.
Synchronicity 1 is pretty hard to play on the bass, but I can probably do it. I have to look it up.
We'll work on that after the show. Okay. We'll Instagram it.
I didn't know you liked Synchronicity. That's a police album. That's the last police album.
Played it in marching band. That's why. We did a whole police year. Like it was a year of just the police. And I think we did Synchronicity.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd play me out.
You should follow all of us on Instagram at Tim Gettys, at KF Moriarty, at GameOverGreggy, at Nick _Scarpino, and at Kind of Funny Kevin.
Yeah, and at Kind of Funny Vids.
And yes, at Kind of Funny.
And thanks for making me feel welcome there. It's been fun and surprising.
In a good way.
Yeah, no, in a great way. Yeah,
that topic was brought to you by Squarespace. When you decide to sign up for Squarespace, make sure you use the offer code KINDOFFUNNY, all one word, to get 10% off your first purchase. Building a website can be tough, and even if you do know your way around coding, creating something that looks good and works well is a time-consuming affair. Whether it's for a business site, a portfolio, a restaurant, or whatever else, in this day and age, you probably need one anyway. Well, lucky for us, Squarespace makes it easy to build beautiful websites without breaking a sweat. Squarespace provides simple, powerful, and beautiful websites that look professionally designed regardless of skill level, no coding required. Not only does Squarespace provide you with intuitive and easy-to-use tools to create your websites with, Squarespace also has state-of-the-art technology powering your site to ensure security and stability. And you know you can trust Squarespace for your website needs when millions of people and some of the most respected brands in the world trust them too. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I'm pretty sure Instagram.com is built on Squarespace.
I don't know about that.
No?
No.
It looks like it.
Because it's beautiful?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you're making where you're going with that. Why does it look like it? Just looks like a Squarespace template?
Yeah.
With a bad joke. It's all a bad
Sorry,
joke.
you threw me off to begin with the online I'm dying comment. I don't know why you're trying to make that your catchphrase. I want it to end.
It's a good one.
I hate it.
Terrible. I hate it
It's
too.
terrible.
It's a
I hate
good
it.
corny
Stop
dad.
saying
It's a
it.
good
It's like when he
corny
tried.
dad
It's like when he tried to make scumbags a thing, and we were
Yeah,
just like,
we
no,
were
I'm
just like,
sorry.
no,
It's a
we're
good
gonna
corny
throw the
lead-in for
We let you
jokes.
go 99% of the time. We're gonna have to throw the kibosh on
Thanks,
scumbags.
thank you.
We're gonna have to throw
Everybody, I need you in the
kibosh on
comments
lying,
below
I'm
this
dying.
YouTube video. Do you like If I'm Lying, I'm Dying? Nick, we built kindoffunny.com, the original.
We did.
On Squarespace.
I love Squarespace. It's
Yeah.
a very, very versatile and easy to use platform.
I like how it
Highly
says
recommend it.
in the brackets.
Yeah.
Personal anecdote.
About building a website.
It's true. Well, that's what we did. It's true. When we went to pick, we had, of course, in typical Kind of Funny fashion, we left ourselves like a day to build a whole website.
Right.
I was
Easy.
like, we could totally do this. And I think I went to a couple other vendors to do it, and I'm like, this is really hard. And then I was like, well, let's give the Squarespace thing a chance. And it actually I was able to figure it out and pick it up and design our site that you guys saw for the first year of our existence in like a day. Less than a day, probably.
Squarespace gives you 24/7 online support to build a beautiful website. So what are you waiting for? Start a trial with no credit card required and start building your website today. When you decide to sign up for Squarespace, make sure you use the offer code KINDOFFUNNY to get 10% off your first purchase and to show your support for us. Kinda Funny. Squarespace. There is no more tagline.
Build it beautiful.
If you're lying, you're dying. Squarespace.